Hello, welcome to the channel. So a little while ago I did a video on the Liver King and there's been an update since then. The last video I did was basically about who he was and where he came from, you know, the fact that he threatened Joe Rogan because that's what you do, and then he did everything he could to go and actually have a fight with Joe Rogan. Obviously, the local sheriff's department contacted Joe Rogan and said, "Do you feel is everything okay?" And Joe Rogan said, "No, I feel threatened." And then Len Liver King got to Texas. He was arrested, and he has an ankle bracelet on. So he's a genius and a complete moron. But this started the ball rolling for things against Liver King. Now, a few years ago, there was a video on YouTube that came out showing and providing evidence that Liver King was not au naturel, but actually he lied massively about things like steroids and supplements and all these things that he was taking, and he was taking large amounts and spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on things to like drugs to get himself to look like this basically. um and when all this came out, his fans, subscribers, people who'd been purchasing products went mental, and there was loads of lawsuits put in against him. Basically, people had been following his 9 ancestral tenants, and they were doing things like eating raw liver, eating raw meat, buying his supplements, taking his supplements which did nothing for them whatsoever, thinking that from his advice and guidance that if they took these supplements, then they could become ripped and jacked just like him with very minimal effort put into actual physical training. The guy's been training for decades in weight training, so clearly he's going to be jacked. And when you take even more compounds, it's going to really amplify that. So after the Joe Rogan thing happened, things started to get way worse for the Liver King. People started looking into it and all sorts, and now there's actual possible lawsuits still ongoing with the Liver King, and he may now be looking at 20 years in prison, and his wife may also be looking at time in prison as well. The guy's life is over. The one thing I don't understand is if he was making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, which he claims, from selling his supplements, he only has around $12 million in liquid money. So where's all these hundreds of millions that he's been making? I don't know. It makes very little sense to me. But let me bring up the list of charges that could see the Liver King and his wife be in prison. So here we are. This is the list of things again. The Liver King violation summary. Number one, he lied about being natural to sell products. The whole part of his spiel was you can get jacked and ripped like me. I am 100% natural. All you have to do is take my product and it will help. Eat raw liver, eat raw meat, and it will help you. It's actually proven to be very bad for you to eat raw meat. Don't do it. It's not good. You can get very ill. So firstly, he lied about being natural to sell the products. Number two, he sold fake ancestral supplements. So again, you know, these are the ground up powdered liver, ground up meat, and all that sort of thing. The third one is planned the scam with his wife, which she did. She is a registered dentist, legally a registered dentist in America. Even though she's taken oath to do no harm and do no wrong, she's been vouching for his products, saying that they can indeed help you, which is breaking her agreement as part of being a dentist, and she could be in serious trouble for this. Number four is wife misused her dentist license, which obviously the first thing that could happen will have her license removed from her, and she'll never be able to get it back. But also, more things could come of that. Number five, try to intimidate Joe Rogan. I don't know why, but Liver King has been on loads of different podcasts throughout the whole of YouTube, like quite a lot of very big ones. But for some reason, he's obsessed with Joe Rogan. It's almost like he needs Joe Rogan's validation of being a man before he accepts that he has been successful. It's really, really kind of out there. And there's a lot of videos of the Liver King where he's clearly not sane in his thinking. Very strange. Number 6, didn't report all income. So he's been declaring that he's been making hundreds of millions. Apparently, he's not declared how much he's actually made. He's kept some off the books. Obviously, that's tax fraud. The Inland Revenue will, or whatever they call it in America, they'll be very interested in doing that. If you remember, around 15, 20 years ago, Wesley Snipes made a lot of money from his movies, didn't declare everything, and he was actually sent to prison for it. So no reason why Livikin can go straight to jail. He sold unsafe products. Again, this comes straight back to his supplements, which he was selling. They hadn't gone through FDA. They hadn't been checked. They hadn't been quality checked. They hadn't been tested. He just made them and sold them with no stamp of approval. So put people in harm's way. And then number 8, threatened or lied about critics. So yeah, I mean, he's it's just unreal. So what laws has he broken? So for the first one, he's got the mail and wire fraud, 18 US code, 1341 to 1443. What can happen up to 20 years in prison and huge fines, forced refund with forced refunds. Basically, this alone could bankrupt the Liver King. He could lose everything he's got: his house, his money, everything. So number 2, the sold fake ancestral supplements. Now this is really bad. The laws are broken. It's effectively consumer protection, violating of class action risk. He's knowingly and willingly put consumers in harm's way by selling them something that could or is dangerous to them. America takes acts very seriously. So yeah, again, what can happen? Full refunds. So everything he sold, he'd have to give a full refund to everybody. He could also get additional fines up to £43,000 per violation. And if so, what that means is every single time he sold one of his tubes or little things of supplements, every one of those would count under the 43,792 per violation, because each one's a violation of the consumer protection. So that could go into hundreds of millions of pounds, because he was saying he was making hundreds of millions of pounds. Well, if you're selling a supplement at around maybe $20 to $30 per order for one thing of supplements, well, each one of those is a 43 grand fine. So all the money he's made, he could lose every penny and more. The next one, wife misused a dental license. Obviously, medical board's going to take off a license because it's a violation. And also, what could happen is the license is suspended or lost completely, and it could be a big fine or 1 to 5 years in jail by state law. Now, I'm not sure what happens. Obviously, if the Liver King goes to prison, then there'll be no one left for her 2 children. But they're not babies; they're late teen children. So she may still go to jail. There's a good possibility. Number 5, he tried to intimidate Joe Rogan, witness intimidation, and he's done a lot of that. He's done it a number of times. This is under the 18 US code, and this could be up to 5 years in prison. So just these 2 things could be 25 years in prison. He didn't report all the income. That's tax fraud, straight up and true. Up to 5 years in prison, fines up to £100,000 for the individual or £500,000 for the business. Now, the courts may go, well, actually, we need to make an example of this to stop other people doing it. We won't bother with the £100,000 individual fine. We're just going to fine the maximum 500,000 to the business. So that's 500,000 to the business. Another 5 years in prison. That's 30 years so far in prison. And millions of pounds to be paid out. He sold unsafe products, number 7, FDA violation and product liability. Multi-million-dollar lawsuits. FDA fines, possible criminal charges. Again, that could lead him to more time in prison. So Not very good. And then we finish off with a wonderful number 8. Threatened or lied about circumstances. Again, this is defamation and extortation. Extortation. I can't pronounce it. My apologies. This is a civil lawsuit, fines and possibly 1 to 5 years in prison if proven extortionate. So that's, well, let's round it up, shall we? 20 years, 25 years, possibly 25 years. Sorry, that's for the wife. Possibly 25 years, 30 years. So that could be 30 years maximum sentence in jail and well over tens of thousands of millions of pounds in lawsuits and fines. The guy is absolutely jam-dodgered. We are never seeing the Liver King again in our lifetimes. And if he comes out, I mean, not to sound horrible, the guy's pumped so many drugs into his system. There's a very good chance he most probably will die in prison. I mean, he's in his mid-40s. So a lot of people that do steroids, like all the classic famous bodybuilders, they've all died early ages from taking so much in steroids. This guy's like 3 times the level what he's taking to them. So it might be a case he hasn't got much longer. And also, he's starting to get really kind of odd in the brain and really bizarre in his actions. So maybe all those drugs are really actually catching up to him and causing major issues mentally. Who knows? But yeah, we might not see Liver King again. And he may be gone for anywhere up to 30 years. He is definitely going to lose every single penny he's ever made, and he will be broke. And his wife will be most probably going to prison as well. Good chance she'll be going to prison as well. But if you like the video, please like, subscribe. I'll be bringing more out to you. I'll be away on holiday for a little while, so I won't have as much coming out content-wise, but thank you so much for checking out the channel. Really appreciate it. If you want to see me other Liver King videos, they're right here for you. See you later.